Okay. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to the Bitches Ain't Shit Radio Hour. Just wanted to go live because I want to talk about this video that I saw. Okay.
A lot of heterosexual men don't like women for real. They don't. They like women sexually, but they don't like women. They're not attracted to what a woman is outside of her sexual organs. So then when we get into why a lot of men womanize, because it's like you haven't gained the appreciation of the wholeness of a woman yet, and what that wholeness of a woman can bring to your life.
People don't like hearing this, but it is undeniably the truth. A lot of straight men want access to women's bodies, but they're not actually attracted to women outside of what they can use them for sexually. And I know that a lot of men don't want to admit that. And I know that a lot of women don't want to accept the reality of it. But there's a lot of men who don't look at women and see a person with thoughts and feelings and needs of her own. They see an object to use for their pleasure. They see a body. They see something that exists for them. And yeah, it's not all men, of course, but it's far from just a few men. This is global. This is not one specific culture or a specific religion. It is across the board.
Yeah, so there's a reason why it's across the board. So men don't dislike women per se. Men dislike the performance of liking a woman they were told to like in a way that no man before the year 1920 was ever asked to. The resentment is the gap between the script and how men are actually wired. So the script that women claim to want is one that demands performative emotional availability and this constant verbal affirmation, while male wiring evolved for action-based bonding. This forces a mismatch that feels like lying, right? So my argument is pretty simple, okay? Men don't like women. So the original argument is that men don't like women outside of sex at all. So on the surface, this is a result of the particular kind of woman that the modern culture industry produces. Women that have desires that self-justify. Their feelings are always right, and contesting them constitutes an act of violence. They are pedestalized by the institutions as some protected class, and they regularly shit on all men and blame men for all of their problems. But at a deeper level, I contest that it's not really a man's true purpose to love a woman like she claims to want to be loved. Deep romantic love is a 100-year-old experiment that resulted from free time, post-industrialization, and enlightenment. It is a luxury that we cannot prove is natural to humans. A man's purpose is some other mission for the greater good of the species. Man was put here to spread his seed on a very animalistic level, okay? Let's also notice that women seem to heavily select for men that just want sex from them and avoid commitment because this signals high value. Let's also notice that once you start to try and check the boxes a woman claims to have about how she wants to be loved, something always goes wrong. More boxes appear, the boxes are checked, then the goalposts shift, right? So this is very clear to me. This is very fucking clear to me. So romantic companionate love is a young institution, okay? It used to be marriage for alliance. That's how marriage really existed, okay? This marry your best friend and process your feelings together thing is 100 years old. You are being held to a standard that your great-grandfather would have found insane. So your great-grandfather's marriage survived on a shared labor and clear roles basis. Like today's model demands intimacy that pre-industrial couples never needed, let alone practiced. For most of human history, men got their companionship from men, like the war band, the workshop, the boat, the hunt. The woman was for sex, children, running the home. The modern demand that she also be your best friend, therapist, and soulmate is a load the bond was never really built to carry. Male-male bonds are low maintenance and activity-based, forcing the female partner to fill all social and emotional roles overloads a relationship designed for complementary, not identical function. Okay? So women select hardest for men who clearly only want to sleep with them and don't commit. She calls him a fuckboy in public and dreams about him in private. The men begging to commit, these men read as low value because high value never has to beg for access. Commitment offered too easily signals that the man has no better option, right? The man who only wants sex from women is not broken. He's reading the spec sheet correctly. He wants the thing that biology actually rewards him for. And he refuses to pay this inflated price that culture has tacked onto it. Her list of how she wants to be loved is not a checklist, it's a fucking treadmill. You check the boxes, new boxes appear. You check those, the old ones move. The boxes were never the destination. The chase is the product. A satisfied woman has no use for this. Let's hear what else she has to say, because I just owned this bitch.
And then men want to cry gender war because women are starting to say, why would I keep giving my body, my time, my energy, my life to men that don't even like women? Men are upset that women are walking away, but they're not willing to look at why women are walking away. They want women to keep accepting being treated like something men can use, while women are saying, no, I actually have the right to feel good in my own life. And it does not feel good being used like a piece of meat. So if you're screaming
women don't
about
feel good being used as a piece of meat, you have to say that. You have to say that. Are there women that enjoy being used as a piece of meat? I mean, if you just observe reality, you'll see that some women fetishize being used as a piece of meat. Literally. I know that you're not allowed to say that, lady. No woman is allowed to say that. But men that regularly get access to women, they see this. We understand it. Very clearly, we understand it.
women hating men, maybe start asking yourself how you actually see women.
How do I actually see women? I see women for what they can't even see about themselves. Okay. I see you for what you are, and I love you regardless. You guys don't love yourselves.
Because most women didn't start out with negative opinions about men.
No, and most men didn't start out with negative opinions about women. It's not a negative opinion, it's a different opinion. We don't think the same. Men and women do not think the same.
That came after years of dealing with men who treated women like their bodies were something there for them to use.
Well, maybe they were just imitating the behaviors that they saw women select for.
Like their value literally began and ended with what men could get from.
Look, there are women, like, look at the Call Me Daddy podcast, right? These women literally said they cannot stand when men like them. They can only be attracted to men who literally dog them. This is because that signals high value. Like, women coming onto the internet saying that they want low value men who check all their boxes, a golden retriever husband. You're on birth control. When you come off birth control, you're not going to want that fucking guy anymore. Like, wake up. Wake the fuck up, dude. These women are fucking liars, bro. If you have a question, just ask your question. Tap in. Tap in with who? Never seen a more chode mic than that. Okay. I'm sorry that my mic isn't up to your fucking standards, Wonder Bread. Why don't you buy me a new fucking mic, dude? What else has this bitch got to say?
It's not the same as men not liking women. A lot of women stopped liking men because what they have done to them. A lot of men never liked women in the first place. And after enough of that, some women have begun to resent men as a whole. Can you really?
Recently, there has been a stark commodification of women's sexuality. In almost every form of media that we consume, there has been a sexualization and normalization of brutality against women, whether that be Instagram Reels, songs, TikTok. I'm speaking every form of media. As a society, we have lowered the threshold of what is considered normal during intimacy, and I'd like to question it and ask you why. Why is the concept of choking, hitting, smacking, degrading women during intimacy normal? Why?
Because you like it? Because you claim to like it? From my experience, talking to a lot of men, they end up with women that want to be smacked and choked, and the man doesn't feel comfortable doing it. The man doesn't feel comfortable doing it. And then the woman thinks less of him for not feeling comfortable doing it. So explain that. Can you explain that?
Why is the idea that if intimacy isn't brutal, it is not fun? As a woman, I just want to ask you to question.
Because sex has been so normalized that it becomes increasingly hard to achieve kink or taboo. Okay. Once things start to become normalized and you know, with porn and obviously like Instagram sexualization of bodies, like this is just the natural progression of hedonism.
Ask you to question why you feel excited by the concept of being treated to little to no respect, and how does that affect you psychologically? You're being slowly manipulated into thinking that we are only
I work with a black guy who is very tall and muscular, and he has banged every girl that works with us. Okay, look, women select for good genes when they think about who they want to immediately fuck. Okay, when on a purely sexual level, it's called short-term dating strategy. Women select for these kinds of genes, right? But what happens is this Chad, right? He a lot of times he just ends up he goes the way of Tom Brady because he's settling on the fact that he is really, really appealing to the short-term mating strategy, right? If that man were to ever want a long-term relationship like a marriage, which I think is a trap for the record, he's going to find himself deficient in game because he never had to learn it because short-term dating came so easily to him. So even if you are Chad, if you do not learn and understand women, if you do not understand the fact that everything with women is a game of leverage, if you do not understand that everything is contested, that they operate under plausible deniability, their power comes from influence, and it's not structural, it cannot be named. If you do not understand this, you are going to go the way of Tom Brady. So game is necessary because game is just social skills, social expertise.
desirable, attractive when we are being brutalized. And if you're a man watching this, why does the concept of harming a woman make you feel powerful? Why does it make you?
The concept of harming a woman does not make me feel powerful. Why does the concept of being harmed by a man make you feel aroused? Like, why do you select for aggressive men? Like, come on, lady.
Dominant, and why does it arouse you? Why in media have we normalized that so much to the point that you're considered vanilla or boring for not wanting to be brutalized?
Do you really think that I don't know. I don't think that men are the majority that want aggression and brutality in the fucking bedroom. I think that it's women. I think that it's women. Especially if we're talking about the most beautiful women. How do you call in? Let me see here. Let me think. Mhm. Okay, did that update? There, that's the link. I put it in the chat. I don't know if yeah, I think you got it. So, have you ever read what Otto Weininger said about women? Yes. And I talked about it in my video about sitcom dads. Otto Weininger said that women operate the way that the Jew operates, which is to weave itself into the machinery so intricately that if you were to remove it, it would seize the machinery. And then from that position, it controls the machinery without issuing a demand. Six out of 8 women have moved my hand to their neck, no matter the position. Yeah. Bro, your vid on killing the ego is some of the most profound shit ever. Good. Yeah. Ego is, bro, you don't know anything about women. Okay. How many times you been locked up? A couple.
I'm not shaming anybody who's into this stuff. I'm simply asking you to challenge the thinking
but you
behind.
are.
And I'd also like to bring up the point, why is it only women? Why is it not normalized for women to be the one that's inflicting harm upon men?
Because that subverts the natural order. Because what the fuck, this woman. Oh my god.
Why is that not sexualized? Why is the concept of that so foreign? Intimacy shouldn't always be aggressive, and it shouldn't be boring if it isn't. We have just taken this for what it is instead of trying to understand why this is such a normal thing. I don't even cock an eyebrow when I hear my friends talking about the crazy night they had, and the whole night is them being treated with little to no respect, and that's why.
Bro, women get off on being disrespected. Like, this is true to life. Like, how can you sit here and say that it's not true? I don't know. These people live on a different planet.
Why are we finding this fun? Again, my point is not to shame, my point is to question. Why is the concept of treating women with little to no respect arousing in society?
To women.
And I also really want you to think about how this affects your brain chemistry in your day-to-day living outside of intimacy. The idea that treating women like this intimately will not change how you treat women in your day-to-day life is
why do you have an eyebrow
comical
ring?
to me. I think it's almost impossible to have that power coming from harming another person and then seeing that person as an equal to you when you're getting off at the idea of them being less. And as a woman, how does that affect you?
Sex is not about sex. Sex is about power. Sex is about power. Okay? Equals do not have good sex. Equals do not have good sex. Period. Sex is about power.
Logically, when you're only feeling desired when you're feeling degraded. And why is the concept of being degraded fun? Just all being convinced.
Because sex is the ultimate act of submission. Okay? And women like to be inside of masculine containment where they can feel safe to let themselves go and relieve themselves of all responsibility. Okay. They can just be free and they can bounce off the walls of the container because the man is immovable, right? In this masculine containment, the man is dominant and she is submissive. And this is when all good sex is had. This woman is fucking clueless.
This is a normal thing because it's so normalized in media, in porn, in books, in everything we consume. And I really want you to just take a second and dissect that. I think that intimacy
What do I think about
should be just as fun
Casey
when you're
Xander's
being
advice?
respected. And I think that
I
you
think
can
that
be
he's saying all the right
respected
things,
still be a little
and he knows what
freaky.
he's talking
like
about.
in books I read where the guy is just so romanticized because he's degrading the woman and being, oh, you're a dirty this, you're a dirty that. Why are women only attractive when they're dirty? Why?
Bro, why is every romance novel propagating the things that you are bitching about? Why are romance novels purchased by the fucking million, woman? So you need to look at women about what you have this grief about, okay? You need to look at yourself.
When you really think about it, it goes so much deeper than just freaky intimacy. And you think about the origin, it goes so much deeper than just being a little like provocative or adventurous. I think that we all need to just take a minute and try to understand why we're being fed this stuff. Once again, I'm not shaming.
You're being fed this stuff because it sells, because you purchase it. You're being fed. You think that it would be fed to you if it did not sell, if you did not buy it. This woman. Okay, I got a caller here. Let's see here. Okay, let me remove this. And let me minimize you. Okay, go ahead.
How we doing?
Great.
So I am from Boise, Idaho. I've been following you for a bit. I've
Cool.
liked a lot of your content. But I've realized I am not very attractive in the long-term scale of dating. I'm more of a short-term, non-attached, just getting fucked and that kind of shit.
You're getting ran
So
through?
I'm kind of wondering advice you may have.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm fucked up in the head.
Give me specifics. Like, what makes you think this?
So I'm like an alcoholic recovering.
Okay. So sorry, having these headphones on is this echo, and I can't fucking talk right. So here's what I would say about that, bro. If you think that you are attractive in the short term, what most guys get wrong is that they go into dating and they go into dating for the long term, not understanding that you have to attract women on the short term in order to get them for the long term. Women aren't going out here looking for men that like are eager to jump into a long-term relationship. So honestly, this is a superpower if you do not have this fucking no, but it sounds like you want to be in a relationship, but you are not finding success with that. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's accurate.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just hoes. Like bitches ain't shit. They're out here fucking everyone. So that's what I'm dealing with. Yeah.
It feels hollow.
Yeah, a little bit.
So you're gay?
No, sir.
Okay.
I did get called that by my last bitch, though.
Damn, that's disrespectful. So
yeah, disrespectful as fuck. Had to leave that shit.
Why not? What have you tried?
What have I tried as far as if I want to attract a long-term partner? Well, I got some stability a little more now. I wasn't doing too great, with the alcoholism and stuff, but I have a pretty good paying job. I'm working on myself, trying to work out, get looking good. But as far as like physical attractiveness, I think I'm doing all right.
But you say that you get hoes?
I get hoes, yeah.
Okay. So what have you tried? Have you tried to turn one of these hoes into a girlfriend or what?
Yeah, I did.
Better yet, like you should be positioning yourself in a way that they may get the inclination to pursue you as a boyfriend. That's what I would recommend. But this doesn't mean softening yourself or like saying anything about relationship. I think that you just need to be fun and safe, make her feel safe and be exciting. Like that's really all it takes.
Yeah, I'd be going to like concerts and shit. I'm kind of in with the local music scene around here.
That's good.
Um, yeah,
Like being known in
I
a
like
scene
to
is
put
social
myself
proof.
out there.
Why don't you just pluck hose from that? So what you should do if you are in a local
It's
scene.
weird. It's weird in person. I don't know.
So look, this is what I
Some
did.
of
This is
them are
how I got a
going.
lot
Some
of
of them
lays.
aren't.
I got a lot of
Yeah.
lays in the Detroit EDM scene back in the day. So what I would do, I would go there with a girl and I would friend zone all the hot girls, right? I would like almost like friend zone them, like not hit on them, never show intent. You do this for a while and then you start to show up with no girl, but it's important that you show up with a girl. So
Yeah.
so you show pre-selection. Then you start going with no girl. And basically you just read all of these women that you've shown no intent to, and you see which ones of them are compliant, right? And then you just pluck those and you just start to fucking like you just take them out.
Right. It really is kind of like a game. Like I'm realizing I'm 23, so you're probably like 30 something, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I'm realizing like you have to like manipulate them, and I don't like being that way, but it's like you literally have to.
Listen, don't think of it like you're being some way. Think about it like this. Every human interaction has leverage involved. Every time that we talk to a person in a non-trivial way, a trivial way would be like seeing someone in the fucking elevator and talking about your guy's dog or something, right? Every time that we talk to other people, interact with other people in a non-trivial way, we are in some way trying to influence or persuade their decisions in some way. This is just a natural function of human communication, right? So we always have some motive, like we are motivated people, you know what I mean? So just understand that there's leverage in every communication. Like there's leverage between you and your mom, right? When like your mom wants something from you, you want something from her, right? Now, whoever cares the least has the most power, right? Whoever's more willing to walk away has the most power in this game of leverage. So just apply that to romantic contexts. And it's not playing a game, it's just understanding the human condition.
Yeah. No, that's true. I need to think more in that way.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for letting me hop on.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go I'm getting a tattoo, so I'm getting my arm done. But
Okay, get one on your face next time. Take it easy, bro.
face,
Okay. Hell yeah. I'm all about face tattoos. Motive is not evil. That's correct. My ex-wife loved being treated like that. New bitch loves being treated as an object even more. Look, they like it. Not all of them. Not all of them. But look, women just naturally enjoy dominant men. Like it's pretty easy to see.
Get ready with me while I tell you how you're being brainwashed and manipulated. Recently, there has been a stark media and take a minute.
Conversation a lot out for dinner. I like when someone pays for me, but I won't expect it. I won't say that it's their obligation, it's their role. A lot of people are going to call me a pick-me or hate on me for saying this, but I go into all my dates expecting to pay for half the bill. Whether or not they decide to pay for the full thing is up to them, but I will not hold it against them if they want to split the bill. Another thing is feminism and how it's misrepresented through publications and social media. We'll get a very accomplished and empowered woman, will paint her face in makeup, put her in a flashy outfit, retouch her face, cinch her waist in on Photoshop, make her tits bigger, call her a girl boss, and the day is done. That's feminism for the day. The same thing that happened 50 years ago, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 60 years ago, etc. Except this time we're calling her a girl boss, and so it's feminism. No, we're again just supporting misogynistic systems under the idea of, oh, feminism. Here's an example. This is Michael Phelps. He's a legend in the Olympics. We all know who Michael Phelps is. And of course, his magazine covers are showing his merit, are showing his accomplishments. And we go to Simone Biles, and yes, we do have some of her in gymnastics, but then the first two that pop up are her in a dress, her in makeup. It supports this idea that a woman needs to be beautiful, needs to be all done up just to be taken seriously. But of course, she is allowed to feel beautiful. She's allowed to look beautiful. I'm not saying she isn't. But the fact that these are the first few images that come up when you search Simone Biles magazine cover compared to Michael.
Look, you are underpricing the value of presentation and packaging. When you go to a court hearing, you're going to wear a suit and a tie. You're going to wear makeup. These people are on covers of magazines, right? Like, it's okay to have a problem with the beauty standards, but like, women aren't looked at as like, look, the idea that women are these great accomplishers if for civilization is a fucking lie. It's a lie. Your beauty is a big part of your value. I think that is what you are wrestling with, okay? Because you've been sold this idea that you can be a man and you can do things that men can do, and you can live, you can serve some purpose in the human species in a way that men do. And you keep trying, and this is what happens. So we are different. You keep trying to flatten men and women to be equally powerful nodes, but that's not how this works. All you're doing is look, there are two poles on a battery. When you flatten them, there's no spark, okay? When you flatten them, the difference is what attracts them.
Phelps magazine cover says a lot. Why can't we just celebrate her based off her merit without having to highlight her beauty and her femininity? She is an insane athlete and she needs to be recognized as such. It's all these ideas of my man better pay for me and also different things like that, like the magazine cover, that's causing people to have pushback on feminism because they think it's useless.
Feminism is not useless. Feminism is a scourge on the earth. Feminism is female supremacy. It's a supremacy movement. It is the most widespread supremacy movement ever that is literally encouraged. Look, feminism is the Third Reich and America is Germany. Germany is pushing the Third Reich, just like America is pushing feminism. It is a female supremacist movement.
And it's not. I think feminism is still very much needed in today's society. It's just so misunderstood and so misrepresented that people are starting to resent it because it's seen as abusing the power of oppression. People are seeing feminism as, oh yeah, we were oppressed back in the 1950s.
No, now you are supremacists.
So now you have to give me everything I want. That's not what feminism is. Okay, thank you, bye.
You want to know something that most women aren't ready to hear? Modern feminism killed chivalry. Mm-hmm. Modern feminism has shifted from seeking equality to promoting superiority and resentment towards men, framing men as oppressors rather than partners and equals. With the birth of modern feminism, there came the birth of the girl boss, I don't need a man. Chivalry was never meant to make women look weak. It was made to create a culture of mutual respect where men acted honorably towards women and acknowledged their virtue and grace. Modern feminism, by demanding sameness instead of equality, has blurred those lines. In trying to erase gender differences, it's erased the gestures that celebrate them. The result of this is now we have an entire generation of men who are not willing to honor, pursue, or protect women. We have this entire generation of men.
I like this. Women are neurotic, and men that treat them like an object take them out of that state, and they are loved harder. I think that this is true. Women are neurotic, and when you treat them like an object, you remove all of this need for context, right? All of this need for deliberation. It's just primal and animalistic, and it takes her out of her head. That's true.
Want to hook up on the first date, who have no respect for women, who don't hold open the door, who don't buy flowers, and it is because of modern feminism. Not only that, but it is also a result of weak men. There's a reason that our grandparents have the cutest love stories where the men pursued the women and they didn't have sex until they were married and they respected and honored each other. And now we are seeing the result of the crash and burn of modern feminism. And unfortunately, it is affecting a lot of women looking for life partners and a lot of men looking for life partners. Feminism is great. The idea of feminism is great to promote equality, but it has evolved into something that is toxic and dangerous to our society.
Hi, my name's Kylie, and here are some things that white people say without realizing they're being racist.
I hate this bitch.
moved a lot growing up. Sometimes I was in rural, homogenous white areas, and other times it was diverse urban areas. But regardless, here are some things that I've heard. Number one, coming in hot, we have when a white person is telling a story and they mention.
Oh, I just stopped your story, bitch. Let's see here. What kind of questions do we have? I want regular, beautiful women interaction, companionship, and positive interaction, sexual. What demographics of women should I be shooting for if I want the least energy and money expenditure? Look, all women have this thing called being a woman. So I don't know what to fucking tell you about that, bro. Like, there's no demographic shift. I mean, meaningfully, there's not. Negligibly, there is. Really, your best bet is to get rid of this expectation that that's what you'll get. Okay, what you're going to get is chaos, and it's up to you to position yourself with accomplishment and success and understanding and experience, and then the finesse and status that comes from all that to be able to mitigate this chaos. And you need to be able to stomach this woman as a liability in your life, because she will exist as that a lot. Okay, so you just have to filter, and you need to like pour your energy inward and like grow and like get better and like fucking level up. Least look, go to Thailand is a short answer, I guess. But look, they're all women are like, they all have the same central nervous systems. All women react and respond the same to leverage, to the willingness to walk away, to backbone. So you have to have all this stuff that women like, and that is just high value. Should you put your height on your dating profile if you're not super tall? No. How do you navigate the "how tall are you" question for a man who is under 6 foot tall? How you're getting that question a lot? Just tell the truth, and then if they don't like it, move on. You just have to look. This is an immutable part of you, and essentially all it means is that the dating pool is smaller for you. Secure 2 dates by using your online comprehensive playbook. Appreciate you, brother. Good. Who is that last one? I don't know. Bro, how do I call in? Right here. Oh, thanks, bro. What ebook bundle or products would you suggest to someone new to your content? So ebook bundle 1 is going to get you there. Ebook bundle 1, I recommend Shit Our Dads Should Have Taught Us. Thank you for the $20 CGOM 7922. Shit Our Dads Should Have Taught Us, and the Toxic Toolkit are all in that ebook bundle, and How to Make Her Beg, and How to Stop Being Nice. All of these are really good. I got a lot of reviews. I'm working on another book right now. It's called On Game, and it's just talking about game. I can read parts of that for you guys. So for me personally, I cannot comprehend why it would be controversial to anyone that in society there is such thing as rank. One person can be more valuable than another person. Feminized modern institutions turned the scoreboard into a slur. Postmodernist and critical theory seem to think that hierarchies are a mistake and can be protested and legislated away. What they don't realize is that the moment you legislate a hierarchy away, another will form before the dust settles, and it will often be unregulated. All primates rank each other. Hierarchy is what primates do. The hidden tax of denied hierarchy is that every institution that bans the scoreboard will still keep score. It just moves the ledger somewhere that is unaccountable, where the metric becomes loyalty or grievance or tenure instead of merit. The men who pretend rank doesn't exist are still ranked, and they're ranked lowest precisely for believing the lie that they were handed. A society does not get to choose whether it was a hierarchy. It only gets to choose whether the hierarchy is visible enough to climb. When you outlaw the open contest, you don't get equality. You get a rigged hierarchy with no fucking posted rules. and the people who wrote the rules are the winners every time. The cruelest part is that the man who was told ranking is immoral spends his whole life losing a game he was forbidden to admit that he was playing. The more that the modern man embraces the fact that hierarchies are everywhere, the more he will be aligned with how the world actually fucking works. And he will stop focusing on how the world is supposed to work. So most men operate on a map of how the world is supposed to work, and they keep walking into walls that aren't on the map. The man who throws out the map and looks at the actual fucking terrain gains something close to a sixth sense because he's the only one in the room responding to what's there instead of what he was promised would be there. So game, or the knowledge and experience it takes to possess finesse and expertise socially, specifically applied to romantic contexts, is a force multiplier that allows men to operate within social hierarchies with a buff. This is not some inflated status or fabricated value. This is just practical knowledge and internalized techniques like frame, self-amusement, backbone, willingness to walk away, charm, charisma, calibrated awareness, heightened social intuition, cunning, deep understanding of female and mating psychology. With all of this, he can skip rungs on the social ladder without necessarily needing actual status, because a man with game knows that people with status behave in a certain way, and he embodies these postures. He presents as high status, regardless of the car he drives or position he holds. People read status off of posture, tempo, and indifference long before they ever check your fucking bank account, which means the signal can be produced upstream of the thing that it supposedly signals. A man with game has reverse engineered the output of high status and learned to generate it directly, so he arrives at the top of the room carrying none of the usual freight. This isn't fraud because status was always a perception game running on behavior input, and he simply supplies the input the rest of the world is too anxious to fake. The same woman who'd reject his resume responds to his frame because her attraction was never reading the resume in the first place. He didn't cheat the hierarchy. He found the actual door while everyone else queued at the one painted on the wall. One of the loudest arguments I hear from men in the comments is that if you just make money, you will have success with women. This is beyond reductive. This is ignorant. This comes from a place of jealousy. You'll rarely hear wealthy people talk like this, but let's examine why you will rarely hear wealthy men talk like this. It's because there are postures and behaviors that come with wealth. More importantly, they come with the type of life one needs to lead and the type of man one needs to be in order to get this wealth. Game applied to nothing is charm with no follow through, but game applied to real wealth or competence turns a 3 into a 9 because the world rounds an interesting man up and they round a boring rich man down. The deeper payoff is defensive. Once a man understands the mechanics of mating psychology, the manipulation tactics that used to destroy men stop functioning on him. The way a magician stops being fooled once he knows the trick, this is the same thing. Knowledge of the game converts him from mark to player, and a player cannot be guilt-tripped, jealousy tested, or hot and cold push-pulled into compliance because he can name all of them as soon as they happen. The man without this knowledge experiences her tactics as weather that he must endure. The man with it experiences them as a language he can talk to. Resilience, more than seduction, is the asset that compounds. The unmanipulable man keeps everything that he builds. Okay, that's what I got. I fucked up and contacted my ex again. I feel like a simp now. Okay, so stop talking to her. Just look, bro. How is a woman stronger than you? So I'm reading from a new book that's not out yet. It's called On Game. I don't know when it'll be done. I stopped, but she keeps contacting. Block her. Okay, guys.